Hey, what's up everybody? Clifton here, Clifton WP. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be diving into the Kadence Pattern Hub plugin, which is an ancillary plugin from Kadence that you get when you own one of the Kadence premium bundles, or you can purchase it a la carte by itself. Essentially, what the Kadence Pattern Hub allows you to be able to do is to be able to create a library of designs, patterns, and templates that you can then pull into other projects or other websites, or you can even share your library with other people, or even sell access to your library of designs, patterns, and templates. In this tutorial, we're going to be doing a walkthrough of how to be able to use the Kadence Pattern Hub to be able to store those designs, how to be able to reuse them, and also how to be able to sell them should you choose to. So if you guys are ready to learn how to use the Kadence Pattern Hub to be able to create your own library of designs, patterns, and templates, then let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay, so here we are with a fresh install of WordPress alongside the Kadence theme and Kadence blocks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example of the Kadence Pattern Hub in action. So you are going to need the Kadence theme and Kadence blocks at a minimum to be able to see an example of the Kadence Pattern Hub in action. So to be able to see this, if we go to new and we select post or page, in this case, let's just select page. One of the things that you'll notice in the interface is that there is a button here called Design Library. Also, if you were to add a row block, for instance, from Kadence blocks, you'll also notice that there's a Design Library button. Both of them take you to the same place. So if I were to click here, then it opens up the Design Library from Kadence. Essentially, this is a pattern hub from Kadence. So when we're talking about patterns, patterns are essentially a collection of blocks that are arranged in a specific pattern for a specific purpose. So over here on the left, you'll see the categories for each type of pattern. So if I were to select the hero category, then I would see hero patterns. If I were to select the cards category, I would see card patterns, and so on. Okay, all of these are coming from Kadence's Pattern Hub. Well, just like they have these different categories with these different pre-built patterns in them, or pre-built templates and designs, you can also have your own Kadence Pattern Hub with your own pre-built designs, your own pre-built patterns, and essentially have a library of designs that you really like and like to reuse on other sites. To be able to add your own Pattern Hub to your website or to any website, that's what this plus sign over here at the very top is for. If you click on this plus sign, you'll notice that there are two fields. There is a connection URL, which will come from your own Pattern Hub library, and then there's a connection access key, which will come from that Pattern Hub as well. Having the Kadence Pattern Hub plugin allows you to have both of these two pieces of data to be able to connect your pattern library to any website or any project. So what I'm going to do, just to give you an example, is when I click over here, notice how we only have the Kadence pattern library here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add a connection URL and a connection access key from one of the pattern hubs that I've built, and you'll see how that will pull in those patterns into this website. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added my connection URL and my connection access key from my own pattern hub from a completely different website. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Connection. Now, once I do that, that pattern hub, the Clifton WP Design Cloud Pattern Hub, is now connected to this website, and you'll know that because you'll see the name of the Pattern Hub here and a trash can to be able to delete it if you no longer want it. Also up here, you'll see that we still have the Kadence library with all of the pre-built templates and designs still available to us. And we also now have this Clifton WP Design Cloud as well. So if you click here, then you'll see all of the designs and templates that I've built in my own pattern club. It's now pulled into this website. All the categories that I created are now here, and I can sort these by category. And if I choose, I can go ahead and even install an entire page in here from my page layout. So if I want just this one, for instance, I can go ahead and click here. And now that page is installed here. Okay, let's see if we go ahead and set this up correctly. Just go ahead and I'll disable the title here. We'll set this to full width. We'll do unboxed, disable the vertical padding. So now we can see we now have a full-blown website in here. So let's see, let's go ahead and We'll just call this home page alt. And I'll go ahead and publish this. And when we view the page, literally in seconds, I now have a full-blown home page that I pre-built maybe for another project, or maybe I just have this stored as a starting point for myself, but it is completely installed with all of the same settings. And it even takes on the color scheme of this current website. So I can even change the color scheme, and I don't have to make any changes directly to the actual template itself. Okay, this is the Kadence Pattern Hub in action. Now, if I go back to edit page, I can come over here. I can open this up in list view. I can select everything that's here and delete it entirely. Go back to the design library and install something else. Okay, I can also switch between the Kadence library and my own. And if I had other pattern libraries, I can even add them here as well, going to the connection tool here. Okay, and if I no longer want this pattern library to be available to this website, I can go ahead and just delete it. Now that it's deleted, if I go back, we no longer have the Clifton WP Design Cloud in there. We just have the Kadence Pattern Cloud here. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how to create your own Pattern Hub, complete with your own designs. I'll also show you how to connect it to any website that you want, or any number of websites that you want. It basically boils down to this connection URL and the connection access key. And lastly, I'll show you how to sell access to your design library. The next step in the process is to go ahead and set up the website that's going to house our Kadence Pattern Hub. The sole purpose of this website is basically to house your patterns, your templates, and your designs. And then other websites will connect to this website using the connection URL and the access keys you provide in order for them to be able to access those templates and pull them into their own websites, which makes it critically important that wherever you build your Kadence Pattern Hub, you want to make sure that it is hosted on a very good, high quality hosting environment. Which brings us to our sponsor for this video, which is Cloudways. A big thank you to today's sponsor, Cloudways. They are the perfect hosting solution for your Kadence Pattern Hub and WordPress website. Pretty much any website that you want to host where you want a high quality hosting environment, I highly recommend Cloudways. Here's why I like them for these types of projects. One, they have fast servers. Their advanced caching makes your website lightning quick. Second reason is that it's scalable. So if you are sharing access to your pattern library, or if you're selling access to it, inevitably you may experience a spike in traffic. And when that happens, you'll need more resources. The ability to be able to scale up instantly with top providers like ultra high frequency, AWS, and Google Cloud is critical, and they have a very easy interface for you to be able to do that. Third reason, it's secure. They have dedicated firewalls, free SSL, and 24/7 monitoring to keep your site protected. And then the final reason is that it's very easy to use, and it is also affordable. For this level of quality, it's extremely affordable. You don't have to have any hosting expertise. You just need to be able to use the interface, which I'm going to show you here in a moment. And you'll see how easy it is for you to get a high quality hosting environment for your website. Okay, so let's go ahead and log into Cloudways. And I'm going to show you how to create a server and to create an application and go ahead and load up your Pattern Hub onto your server. Okay, so to get to Cloudways, go to cliftonwp.com/Cloudways. That'll take you to their website, where you'll see that at the current time of this recording, they are offering a 40% off for 4 months Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal. Highly recommend you take advantage of that. That'll give you 40% off for the next 4 months, and you also get 40 free migrations. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and log into my Cloudways account and go ahead and start creating the server and also the WordPress install so that we can go ahead and load up a Pattern Hub and start building out some designs. So to do that, I'm going to go to login, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my login credentials. Now keep in mind that when you get started with Cloudways, the first 3 days are completely free. So you can actually sign up and test them out for 3 days. You can even build out this entire tutorial and see how it works out. Okay, so I'm now logged into my Cloudways hosting service account, and here you can see I already have one server and 2 applications. These are 2 WordPress installs. You can actually see them down here. But what I want to do is I want to go ahead and create a new server just for this Pattern Hub. I don't want to host it on my current server. I want it to be completely separate server for just this purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and click on View All Servers. And then from here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Add Server to add a new server. Once I click on Add Server, I'm going to go over here to click on Select an Application. The application that I want is a WordPress application. And I'm going to give the application a name. So let's just go ahead and call this our Pattern Hub. And the server name will be called a Pattern Hub as well. We'll call it the Pattern Hub server. We'll leave the project name here just the same. And then for the server itself, I'm going to select the Vultr High Frequency, which is my favorite kind of server to select because of the speed. And then for the server size, I'm going to go ahead and just start with 2 gigabytes. The location is going to be New York. I can see over here what I'm going to be paying hourly and what it's going to cost me monthly for the server. I'm going to go ahead and click on Launch Now. Okay, so currently it's in the process of building out the server for me. So if I click here to view all servers, you'll see here that it's working to add the server for me. It'll take approximately 13 minutes or less. So we'll go ahead and come back once this server is fully launched. Okay, so our server has now been added and we can now check it out by clicking on it, and you can see the IP address for the server. I'm going to go ahead and copy this because I'm going to need it to add my domain to this server. Now, if you want to see the application, meaning the WordPress install that was added here, it's very easy to do. Just go back here, click on Applications, and you can see the Pattern Hub that's been added to the Pattern Hub server over here. And then you can still see our other websites which are contained on the other server, which is the built-in WP server. Our websites are still there intact. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and access this application. To do that, just go ahead and click on it. And you'll see here the WordPress application. Here's the temporary URL for that WordPress application. If we click on it, it'll show us the latest version of WordPress. And if we go back here, we can go ahead and see the username and password to access the install. But what I want to do now is go ahead and add my domain so that I have the actual domain that I want to use for my Pattern Hub. So I'm going to come over here to Domain Management, and then I'm going to click on Add Domain. And first, I'm going to go ahead and add my domain as a subdomain. I'm going to add it as a subdomain of the main domain. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to my domain registrar, and you can go to yours if it's a different domain registrar. Mine happens to be Cloudflare, but the activity that we're going to be doing here is going to be the same. What you want to do is you want to access your domain wherever you have it registered. Go to the DNS for that domain, and what you're looking for are the DNS records. Okay, I'm going to click here and click on Add Record because I want to create a subdomain of my main domain, which is builtinwp.com. I want to add an A record, and the A record name this time is going to be Pattern Hub. And we're going to add that IP address that we copied from the server. Okay. And once everything's added here, I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. So that's going to go ahead and add it here. So now my domain is going to be patternhub.builtinwp.com. So I'm going to go back to my server and I'm going to add exactly that. Click on Save Changes. Okay, so now our subdomain has been successfully added. The next thing that I want to do is I want to go ahead and make it the primary domain. So to do that, I'm going to click on the vertical ellipsis, click on Make Primary, and click on Set as Primary. Okay, we've successfully added this as the primary. The next thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I have an SSL certificate installed so that the website is served through HTTPS. So I'm going to go ahead and click on SSL certificate. This is completely free. I want Let's Encrypt, and in here I'm going to add my email address, and then we're going to go ahead and add our subdomain in here and click on Install Certificates. Okay, the certificate has successfully been installed. So now when we go back to Access Details, we can now see that the WordPress URL is now patternhub.builtinwp.com, and then we have our username and our password. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and log into our install so we can go ahead and start installing our Kadence theme, installing the Kadence blocks and the Kadence Pattern Hub. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and copy this password by clicking on the copy icon here, and then I'm going to click on the admin link. That's going to take me to the login page. From here, I'm going to go ahead and add my username and the password and log in. And now we're inside of the install. The next thing for us to do is to go ahead now and install the Kadence theme, install Kadence Blocks, and also install the Kadence Pattern Hub plugin. From here, you're going to go to Appearance, go to Themes, click on Add New Theme, and we're going to do a search for Kadence. We're going to go ahead and install the Kadence theme, which is free in the WordPress repository. Click on Activate, and now we have our theme installed. Next, we need to go ahead and install Kadence Blocks, which will give us access to the design library. So from here, I'm going to go to Plugins, click on Add New Plugin. We're going to do a search for Kadence Blocks. Here is the Kadence Blocks plugin. Click on Install Now and Activate. Okay, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Kadence account, and I am looking for the Kadence Pattern Hub. So I have the full Kadence bundle, and that gives me access to all of the ancillary plugins that Kadence has to offer. So over here is the Kadence Pattern Hub. I'm going to go ahead and click on Download. And I'm also going to download the Kadence Blocks Pro plugin. All right, and from here, I'm going to go back to my install, click on Add New Plugin from the Plugins screen, click on Upload Plugin, choose File, and we're going to start with the Kadence Blocks Pro first and activate. Okay, it's going to ask me for my license key. Go ahead and click here to activate license key, paste in my license key, save the changes. Then I'm going to go back to Plugins, click on Add a New Plugin, Upload, and this time I'm going to go ahead and add the Kadence Pattern Hub plugin that I downloaded and activate. Click here to activate the license. Okay, so if we go to plugins now, we can see all the plugins that we have installed. Okay, so we're not going to need this one, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and we can keep this one for later. All right, so we have Kadence Blocks Pro extension, we have the Kadence Blocks plugin, we have the Kadence Pattern Hub, and over here on the left hand side you'll see the Pattern Hub menu link, which will allow us to be able to add our patterns, our templates, and our designs to this site. Now if we go to the front end of the website, it looks just like any other Kadence website, but the purpose of this website is really just for the patterns and the designs and for building out the library. No one's actually going to be visiting the site directly. So what I like to do is I like to go ahead and set this up so that if anyone happens to visit this site, they actually don't really see anything. So to do that, I'm going to come over here, click on New, click on Page, and I like to call this Home Page. Okay, I'm going to come over here to the right, go to my settings. I'm going to set the page title to be disabled. We're going to have a full width, and we're going to set this to be unboxed, and the content vertical spacing will be disabled. I'm also going to disable the header, and I'm also going to disable the footer. Okay, go ahead and click on Publish, and we'll view the page, and it's completely blank. Okay, then I'm going to come back here to the dashboard, go to Settings, go to Reading, click on a static page, set the home page to home page. And now when we visit the website directly, it's just going to be a blank page. All our pattern library stuff will be on the inside. All right, next what we need to do is go ahead and start creating patterns that we're going to be storing in our design library. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started creating our designs and our templates for our Pattern Hub or for our design library. To do that, we're going to go ahead and navigate to the dashboard. And here in the side menu, you'll notice that we now have a Pattern Hub link, which is containing our Pattern Hub custom post type. So here in the flyout menu, you can see where we can view all the pattern items, right? We don't have any right now, but you also can add new pattern items. And then you'll also notice that there are collections, categories, keywords, and settings. Let's talk about the collections, categories, and keywords. Essentially, these are ways for you to go ahead and organize your designs. So you can organize them as collections, you can organize them as categories, and then keywords is just another way for you to go ahead and organize them as well. If you were to, let's say we go to pages as an example here, and I click on, let's just go to add new page, and I'm going to click on design library. So if you look at the way Kadence has this set up, over here on the left hand side, these are the categories. So hero is a category, cards are a category, columns are a category, media and text are categories. And you could name your categories anything that you want. It's always better to name it relative to the actual design that you're creating or the section that you're creating or even the page layout that you're creating. Okay. Here where you have the search bar, this is where you can put in your keywords. So if there's a keyword of hero and I type that keyword in here, then all the hero sections will appear. These all have the keyword of hero assigned to them. If I put in the word call, right? So now this is going to go ahead and filter out or filter through anything that looks like a call to action, right? So these are all where your keywords will be effective, will be in the search bar over here. Collections actually has to do with how you're grouping your designs, okay? So for instance, with Kadence, the way they group their designs is by pro designs, and then they also have free designs. Okay, so pro would be a collection. Okay, free would be a collection. You may have a collection that's private. You may have a collection that's public. Those are all groupings. So if you go back to the Pattern Hub and you're wondering what the collections, categories, and keywords are, that's essentially what these taxonomies are pertaining to. So let's go ahead and create an actual pattern and see all of this in action. To create our first pattern or our first design, let's go ahead and click on Add New Pattern Item. That's going to bring us to the block editor to be able to create our design or our pattern item. And similar to all the other custom post types, you have an area for title. We have the block editor, and we also have the block inserter with all of the blocks available to us to be able to build out our design. Over here on the right-hand side, under the library items, you'll see here that we have categories, we have collections, and we have keywords to allow us to be able to properly organize our design. So for instance, under the collections, I can go ahead and create this as a new collection, and we'll call this collection our free collection. And while we're here, let's go ahead and create a couple more. So we can have the free one, we can also have a pro collection, and we can also have a private collection. All right, and then below that, we have categories. So for categories, we're going to create a new category here, and let's call this one our hero sections category. And then below this, we'll have keywords to be able to search for this item that we're going to create. So it's going to be a hero section. So let's go ahead and type the word hero, and you can separate your keywords with a comma. And let's also add the word wireframe, because it's going to be a wireframe item here. Okay, so we have some keywords. We have our categories as a hero section, and then for our collections, we have free, private, and pro. And for this one, we'll just make it a free, part of the free collection here. Okay, so now that we've set up our categories, let's actually go ahead and build out the actual design. So this is going to be a hero section. So we'll call this hero section wireframe, and let's give it number 1. And we're just going to build out a very simple hero section. So I'm going to do a / here, search for the word row, and we're going to select the row layout from Kadence Blocks. I'm going to add a single column row here, and from the short menu, I'm going to click on the alignment icon and set this to full width. And then for the inner content width, let's just go ahead and use the inner content width for the theme for now. We can change that later on. Okay. All right. Next, what we're going to do is I want to go ahead and add some padding here. So I'm going to go ahead and max out the padding by actually dragging it visually to 5x large, and I'll do the same thing at the bottom. And then over here on the right hand side, where it says advanced, I'm going to click on advanced. I'm going to go to the structure settings here, and under the structure settings, I'm going to set the minimum height to 800 pixels. Okay, so that should give me a nice tall hero section. Okay, the other thing that I want to do is I want the actual content area here to be vertically aligned in the middle of the area here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the alignment here, and we'll change this to align middle, and now it's right there in the center. Okay. So with the row selected, I'm going to move over to the right, go to style, and we're going to set a background image here. And I already have an image in here. It's more like a wireframe representation of an image there. Okay, and now I can go ahead and add my text. So click on the plus sign, and let's add a text block from Kadence, and we can say add your catchy title here. Okay, let's go ahead and center that. All right, and now I'm going to set this to be an H1. Also going to change the size of it. So let's select the XL size, and then I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. So let's go ahead and duplicate this, and this will be our description. I'm just going to grab some lorem ipsum text, and we'll paste that in here. We'll change the designation to a paragraph, and we'll also reduce the size here to normal. Okay. Now we really can't see what we're doing here, so let's go ahead and just select the row, or actually let's open this up in list view. I'm going to select the section itself, move over here to the right, go to style, scroll down, And here we have the text color settings. I'm going to set the text color to white. Next, let's go ahead and add a button. So with my cursor at the end of the last text block here, I'm going to go ahead and click on the Enter key. That's going to give me a new block line. I'm going to do a /, type the word button, and I'm going to select the Kadence buttons block. And we'll make this our call to action. So we'll just say call. I'm going to move over here to the right and go to Style, Typography, and I like these to have a uppercase for the text here. Okay, so far this is coming together really well. So now what we want to do is just go ahead and style this a little bit more. So assuming that this is an image, we're going to go ahead and select the row, move over to the right, go to Style. I'm going to scroll down, look for the background overlay settings, open that up, and we're going to give this an overlay color. We'll set it to be the darkest color, and we'll set this to 50%. Okay, so it allows us to be able to see our text a little bit better. Then the other thing that I can do now is, now that I can see this, is I can go ahead and change the width of the inner content width here. So I'm going to select the row, move over to the right, go to the layout here, and I'm going to toggle off the inherit max width from theme, and I'm going to add my own custom content max width of 800 pixels. Okay, and that looks a lot better, a lot more structured. Okay, and just like that, we have our first hero section wireframe. You can do more things to it if you want. You can add another button, or you can add some items here. But this is plenty. We'll go ahead and publish this, and you can view the pattern on the front end. This is what it will look like. All right, and this is our first pattern. So let's go back and let's exit from here. And now we have our first pattern here. Okay. Now, one of the things that we want to do is, you see over here where it has the author, has the collection, has the categories, we have our keywords, the publish date, but it's missing the image. So we want to be able to reflect the image over here. And the way to do that is if you go to settings and we go to general, under the general tab, we're going to give our pattern hub a name. So let's call this one the built-in WP design library. You can call it anything you want, but this is what will show up when people connect to your site. And we can leave it at force size to resync after 1 month, or you can change this to 1 day, 1 week. I like to leave it at 1 month. And from here, we're going to enable API Flash for screenshots. API Flash, which is at apiflash.com, is a screenshot API that allows you to get clean and polished screenshots for your applications. And so this integrates very well with the Kadence Pattern Hub plugin. Essentially, what you need to do is come over here and create an account. You can create a free account. You can get up to 100 screenshots per month for free. And they also offer paid plans as well. So depending on what your needs are for screenshots, you can either choose to get a paid plan or you can use their free plan. Okay, I already have an account, so I'm going to just go ahead and log in here and grab my API key. This is what it looks like on the back end. Okay, and you just come over here, go to access keys, and you can see you can create a new access key for this one. We'll copy that, go back to our Pattern Hub under these settings here, and we'll add that key here, and we'll click save. All right, and sometimes it takes a minute for it to recognize that the API Flash key is there. Don't worry about that. It will generate the image for you. So let's go back here to all pattern items, and now we can see there's a link here that says generate thumbnail. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on this link, and you can see now it has generated the thumbnail for the hero section wireframe number 1 that we have created, and that is how you create a new pattern. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and create a few more patterns. In the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead and do this really quickly. And when we come back, we'll have a series of patterns available to us to be able to use to demonstrate how to connect to this website from another site and be able to pull in those patterns. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added some designs and patterns and templates to our pattern hub. And so we now have a nice sampling of varying designs that we can use to pull into another website or a bunch of other websites if we want to. What's really cool about the Pattern Hub is that you can actually save anything as a pattern or as a design. Notice here how I have an entire home page put together as just one design or one pattern. And then I have different sections that are separated out as their own individual patterns as well. I even have these coming soon pages added here, as well as pricing tables. So anything that you can imagine, you can actually add here that you can create as a design from blocks. You can actually add here into your pattern library. So that's actually quite awesome. All right, I've also gone ahead and spun up a fresh new website. So this website has nothing in it other than the Kadence theme and Kadence blocks. And that's really all any website really needs in order to be able to interact with a pattern hub. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and connect this website to our pattern hub and test and see if we can pull in our designs into this website. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on edit page. Okay. From here, I'm going to click on the design library and you can see the Kadence designs and patterns just as normal. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and click on the connection icon here, and it's asking for a connection URL and a connection access key. For that, we're going to go to our Pattern Hub website and we're going to go to settings. From the settings tab here, we're going to click on access keys, and under the access keys section is where you'll see the connection URL and the ability for you to generate a key. So I'm going to copy this URL first, go back to the other site and paste it in the connection URL field. And then back here at the Pattern Hub website, we're going to go ahead and generate a key. So click on generate key, and you're going to generate an access key. Right next to it is an edit icon. If I click on this edit icon, it gives me a place to be able to add an access key note. And then below that is an opportunity to select the collections that I want this access key to have access to. By default, it has access to all the collections. And in this pattern hub, I only have 2 collections. I have a free collection and I have a pro collection. Okay. So for this access key, let's just have it be able to select all the collections, and I'm going to add here all collections as my note, and we'll click on generate key again. This will generate a second key, and for this key, let's go ahead and add a note for this key that this is only going to be the free collection. And let's generate one more key, and we'll make this key the pro collection. Now, one thing we have to remember is if you have different keys doing different things, make sure that the collections match that. So if this is the pro collection, then I'm going to select here under collections that this is for the pro. Okay. And then let's go to our earlier one here, free collection. I want to make sure that this is for the free collection only. Okay. So now that we have all that set up, let's go ahead and click on save. And now we have 3 access keys. So as you can see, you can generate as many keys as you want for as many collections as you want. Okay. The access key we're going to use, let's just use the all collections access key here so we can see all of our designs. So I'm going to copy this access key. We're going to go back to that external website and I'm going to go ahead and add the connection access key in the field. We're going to click on add connection, and you can see it happens very quickly. Here is the built-in WP design library has already been added. It's a trash can here in case I want to delete it. And then here there's a tab next to the Kadence tab for those designs. If I click on this, it'll show me all those designs in this external website. Okay, so I now have access to all of the designs, and I can basically pull in any of these designs into the page. On the left are my categories. So I have cards, content sections, hero sections, home pages, maintenance pages, pricing tables, and service sections. Okay. And then here I can also do by search. So I can search for hero sections if I want. And you can see here instantaneously shows me all of the hero sections. This is quite awesome. Okay. So let's go ahead and add some of these and see how it looks on the page. So let's go ahead and add a hero section. All right. So now we have a hero section added. Now let's go ahead and add another section here. Maybe I want to add a section like this. All right. This is actually another hero section. Yeah. Let's get rid of it. Let's go to design library again. And this time, let's add a service section. Right, you can see here it adds it very nicely, and it takes on the color scheme of the current website. Let's add some more. Back to the design library here, and I'm going to go ahead and add a content section here. And we can continue to add sections until we've built out the kind of page that we want. Let's add a pricing table. All right, everything looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Let's view it on the front end, and here we go. We have a website in seconds. So as you build your design library and add different sections to it, you'll find that you actually have a very quick way to spin up a website very easily. And you can do this on multiple websites from one pattern hub. Okay, let's go ahead and see what it looks like if we add a much larger design, a much larger pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up in list view, select all of the blocks here and delete them. I'm going to click on the design library, and this time we're going to select that really large page here, which is this one. Okay, added all the sections for us at once. Save, view the page, and instantaneously we have a home page that's ready to work. Okay, so if you have a nice layout, if you have a home page, it's a high converting home page, you can convert that into a blueprint, save it in your pattern hub, and then every time you spin up a site, you can go ahead and pull that in from your pattern hub and save yourself a lot of time. And with that, that'll conclude the walkthrough of the Kadence Pattern Hub plugin and how to be able to use it to create a design library that you can pull designs from into your own websites, or you can share your access keys for others to be able to pull those designs from your pattern hub. Hey, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please do me a big favor and like the video, smash that like button so that other people can also find this tutorial and learn how to create their own design libraries. In the next part of this video, I'm going to be showing you how to actually sell access to your license keys. Now that is going to be a separate video from this video because there's actually quite a bit involved, and I want to make sure that I cover every single detail so that you know how to be able to do this successfully. Hey, if you are new to the channel and you enjoy step-by-step WordPress and Kadence tutorials, then make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and remember to hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time I release another video, especially on the next video where I'll be showing you how to sell access to your pattern hub. Hey, I want to say thank you very much to the people who've been supporting the channel by either buying me a coffee, liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, or buying any of the tools that I recommend in my videos. I really, really appreciate it, and your support means a lot to me. Thank you very much. And until next time, I'll see you in the next video.